Hi everybody, Mr. Bade, aka Serenity Spider-Monkey here again. I was planning on uploading these next two deck profiles, uh, either on the 16th or the 17th, along with my Serenity deck profile, but uh, uh, I guess celebrating my birthday and going over to see other family kind of put a bosh to those plans, I guess. Um, but yeah, I had a pretty fun birthday though. Uh, I got this new anime I've been wanting to check out for a long time. My Setsu. It's this really funny, charming anime about these four college age comedians. Madeline Duro and Zanfi Win play two of the leads. So that's pretty cool. And there are some Forkins VAs in there too, Allison Leigh Rosenfeld and Gary Mack, among others. And yeah, I'm really enjoying that anime so far. And also from my brother, I got uh, these two Cardvid Vanguard decks, which I'm pretty excited to use. This one is probably my favorite, more so Megami Yakura deck. I really like the aesthetic of her uh, uh, Vanguards, I guess. Creatures. I don't really know what you call them. I haven't really read or watched Earth Vanguard in a long time. Other than her episode yesterday, I guess. But yeah, I'm here today to bring you my 40 some, uh, I guess 45 card uh, deck that I headcanon, I guess, for Mokuba Kaiba. So Kaiba's younger brother and the character I ship Serenity with. So yeah, let's get started. First we have one copy of Dark Scorpion Gorg the Strong. This is a GX air card, obviously, but in number Troubadour, Mokuba actually uses Desk Koala and Big Koala and cards like Big March of Animals, which are, of course, cards like Shumley uses in GX, so I don't really see anything wrong with giving him, the Dark Scorpions. So, Gorgon Strong, it costs 1 tribute to summon, has 1800 attack points, which is not great for much that uses a tribute, but uh, he's a warrior, obviously. What he can do is you can either target one monster your opponent controls and return that target to the top of their deck, or he can send the top card of the opponent's deck to the graveyard. He can't do both at the same time, but in anime he only used the first effect to bounce Chaz's Armed Dragon level 7 back to the top of his deck, which comes in play with some of the other Dark Scorpions. I would play that clip, but I just found out that especially Yu-Gi-Oh! GX is apparently heavily targeted by copyright from 4Kids. If you use the dub anyway. So yeah, I can't play anything here. Yeah, just one copy of Gorg though. Uh, two copies of Dark Scorpion. Chick the Yellow. He's probably my favorite of the 5. um, what he can do is he can either return one card on the field, to the owner's hand, so he can actually help you out too if you want a card and you feel back in your hand. I should also mention before I go any further, these effects can only be activated if they uh, manage to deal battle damage to your opponent. So Chick has 1,000, 1,000 for each. He's level 3, a Dark Warrior. Yeah, his effects, if he can deal battle damage, he can return one card from the field to its owner's hand, or you can actually look at the top card of your opponent's deck without your opponent seeing it, and then you can place it on the top or bottom of your opponent's deck. So that's actually really cool. It really fits like the Dark Scorpion's like theme of being like thieves and like in a way like uh, not being like seen by the people they're trying to like rob, I guess. So if they could like, I don't know, if you could like see like your opponent's like next card and you can like either like put it back or like even like put it like at the bottom of their deck so the opponent can get to it without them being like, you know, any like they're like none the wiser about it, I guess, since they didn't see the card. Yeah, I really like Chick's effects and uh, Don Zalug and his dude Chaz. He used Chick's first effect, obviously, to bounce one of Chaz's set cards back to his hand. So, um, I actually think it would have been a little smarter, I guess, of Don Zalug to since he did put Arm Dragon level 7 back on top of Jez's deck. It would have been a lot smarter, I think, if Don would have used Chick's second effect to put level 7 Dragon on the bottom of Jez's deck, so he couldn't get to it anymore. But yeah, instead of sending it to the graveyard with the next effect I'm about to cover. So yeah, I really like Chick's effects, and both his effects can actually be pretty useful. Next is Dark Scorpion Cliff the Trap Remover. He has the same stats as Chick, except he has 200 more attack points than Chick does. Uh, when he inflicts bow damage, also you see here, he has a dagger. Chick has a hammer, or a mallet, I guess, and Gorg has a hammer. Yeah, you see the dagger here in Clip's hands. Like, I don't really know what that is in the air by him. uh, Nails? Okay, yeah, Cliff, you go off, I guess. Um, yeah, he has a dagger, though. Pretty cool. When Cliff inflicts bow damage, you can select one trap or spell in the field and destroy it. Or you can send the top two cards of your opponent's deck to the graveyard. The anime Cliff used his second effect to make after Gorg and Chick's effects went off to uh, send Jazz's level up and arm drawing level 7 to his graveyard. Kind of a bad move given what happened later, I guess. Like the next turn, but yeah. Destroying a spell trap card can be pretty good too. If you can get Cliff a little more attack points to actually use these effects. Same with the other Dark Scorpions. But yeah, uh, Sending the top 2 cards of one's deck to the graveyard is like pretty nice too. Especially Dark Scorpions like to mill. So of the Dark Scorpions, Cliff is probably my second favorite after Chick. Then probably Mina at my third, then Don Zalug fourth, and then Gorg is dead last. Oddly enough, here's the big boss himself, Don Zalug. I'm just gonna say right now, I don't have Dark Serpent Burglars, or Timidity, or Trapped Dust Shoot, or Needle Sealing, or even like Legacy Hunter in this deck. I just have the Dark Scorpions themselves. um, anyway, with Don Zalug here, in the anime, he actually has 2 guns for weapons. I don't know why they changed it to more blades. Because that's kind of Clip's thing. Yeah, well, Zalug has 14 in attack, 15 in defense. When he inflicts damage, your opponent discards 1 random card from their hand, or he also has Clip's effect of sending the top 2 cards of the opponent's deck to the graveyard. Don in the anime used, of course, the first effect because Cliff already used the mill effect, but yeah, both of them actually do have that effect. And sending 1 card in your opponent's hand to the graveyard can be pretty useful, actually, to sort of like limit what they can do. So yeah, if you can get the Dark Scorpions like on the field together and all like pretty powerful, they can actually be pretty deadly. To end the Dark Scorpion like monster lineup here, 2 copies of Dark Scorpion Mina the Ford, her Thorn Whip here. It's kind of similar to Harper Lee's like anime Rose Whip actually, which is pretty cool. She has 1,000 attack, but she has 1,800 defense, which is pretty good. So you can actually activate her effect by just like if your opponent just crashes into her, just like when she's defending. Her effects are she helps actually get back some cards. She can add 1 Dark Scorpion card from your deck to your hand. So she can get out the other Dark Scorpions, or they're like 2 like support cards, like their spout drop cards to help the deck get going, I guess. Or the effect she used in the anime, where she can target 1 Dark Scorpion card in the graveyard and add that card to the hand. Don Zalug used this card to, at the end of the combo, to pull back Dark Scorpion combination, which I'll cover later. So yeah, that's it for Dark Scorpions. I have 2 of all of them, except I have 1 of Gorg. Uh, this deck isn't like super good, but I wanted to like with my Serenity deck, I wanted to keep it, I guess, keep it to cards like I feel they would play and like relative to like their like skill level. So um and so I didn't want to include anything like too like powerful or too busted in either of their decks. So next is a card that kind of just reminds me of the Dark Scorpions, I guess, and I think Mokuba might actually have this in Nightmare Troubadour. So 1 copy of the Exiled Force. I don't know, I kind of thing can punch those guys gonna look like Dunzalug. Uh, they're Earth, 1,000 attack, 1,000 defense, warrior. You can offer them on your field when they're face up as a tribute to destroy one monster on the field. Then it just says, like, if it's used as a tribute, you can't activate this effect, which is kind of obvious, I guess. I don't know why they bother to. Anyway, next is sort of the big, the big boy of this deck, I guess. Deathbolt Scoff. I really like when you use this in the admin to just totally destroy, like, Nesbit and, like, the rest of the big five. It, like, absolutely just annihilated Machine King, and I just love that entire scene. One of Yami's, like, coolest mobs, in my opinion. I put this in my Mokuba deck just, like, because I like it, and I didn't have really a use for it in my, well, I made this deck a few years ago, so I didn't even have my, like, Dimitri deck. So, yeah. What this False Golf does, though, is it's a dragon with 2,200 attack, it's 1,700 defense, it's a 6-star monster, Earth. If that False Golf destroys a monster by battle, and since it's graveyard, you can inflict 500 damage to your opponent. And each time a normal or quick play spell card resolves, this card gains 200 attack until the end of that turn. So, yeah. So if you can get this Volscout just destroying opponent's monsters, you can rack up some pretty good burn damage. And with the Dark Scorpions, like, doing their thing and depleting your opponent's hand and deck, like, the opponent might not have a chance to fight back either. One card to, how about Dark Scorpions? One Magic Golem, obviously, like, neither Tunzalug or Mokuba ever used this. This is actually a Jack Atlas card. But I like its effects. I think it's a cool card. I think it, like, is really helpful with the Dark Scorpions. So I've covered this card already, but I'll just go over it again. It's a rock with 2,000 defense points. Once per turn, you can select a face-up monster you control, and cuts attack points in half until the end phase, but then it can attack directly. But during the turn the effect is activated, only the selected monster can attack. So, I don't know if you want to, like, probably the best option is, I would say, Chick or Cliff with Magical Golem's effect. Yeah, probably. I wouldn't say Gorg. um, just one copy of Hungry Burger. Uh, why he's here is, it should be obvious, I guess, because Mokuba, he had a Russian roulette game with food in the season 0 manga that you played with Yugi and Joey on. I think it was the 3rd floor of Def T. And yeah, one of the things he set up for them to eat was a poisonous hamburger. So, and he has this card Duel Links. So, I like it, I guess. It's 2,000 attack, 1,850 defense. It's a dark monster, so fits the deck too. Um, the next few cards are sort of part of, like, other themes I give to this deck. First up is one copy of Sweet Corn. It's a plant with 0 attack and 0 defense points, but Once per turn during your main phase 2, you can pay 500 life points and special summon 1 maze token, which basically has the same stats as Sweet Court. So if you can like hold on, you can also use like one of like either your Sweet Corn or your Maze token for like a tribute, and also summoning tokens like helps out other cards in this deck too. So hint hint. Next card is 1 copy of Mushroom Man #2. So continuing the small food theme this deck has too. It's actually a warrior. But a 1250 attack, 800 defense. What you're really going to use this, what I'm really going to use this card for is its effect though. The player controlling this card loses 300 points during each of his or her standby phases when this face-up card is on the field, and by control of this card can be shifted to your opponent by paying 500 life points during your end phase. So if you don't mind paying the points, you can like do some pretty good like burn damage to your opponent. And other cards like sort of help out with like a life point cost in this deck too. So 1 copy of Jerry Beans Man. He's a little Jelly Bean Man. A nice sword. He has actually a pretty nice attack with 1750. I just think he's kind of cute. He looks kind of like a lima bean. 1 copy of the Neotori, which is a prize card that Joe and Mokuba and Yugi got from their battle. I guess if you want to call that Mai in the virtual adventure game arc. And they rode Neotori all the way to the castle for like a sandstorm. So yeah, I like Neotori. And he's not the only card here I put in here to reference that arc. And also Mokuba uses it in Duel Links. So yeah. 1 copy of the Witty Phantom, also a dark monster. He has 1400 attack and 1300 defense. He's actually based off in his personality in that arc he's actually based off like Maxwell and Pegasus. So like anytime I see this card, I just think of like that, I guess. This monster actually held Kaiba captive until Mokuba like managed to free him. So and like that scene where he got blasted by like Kaiba's Blazing Dragon is like pretty like I don't know, pretty cool looking, but also kind of horrifying in a way. So yeah, next we got. I'll just cover these 2 cards together. Why not? Key Mace and Mystical Elf. Uh, Mystical Elf is here because Princess Adina, the game version of Mokuba, was the Mystical Elf, like in her true form. So, and Key Mace slash Iru was her like little fairy, like Zelda Navi, like helper buddy. I think that's the second time today I've mentioned like Zelda and something. Yeah. So yeah, these 2 were here because of Princess Adina and Iru. Plus, I just kind of like both of these cards. 1 copy of another dark monster actually. 1 copy of Feral Imp. I just think he's cute. He's just so adorable. In the anime, he's a little less adorable, I have to say. But yeah, what can you do? the card that will help all these dark monsters out, and another nod to Serenity in a way. 2 copies of Witch's Apprentice. She can give all dark monsters 500 attack points boost, and she also decreases the attack of light monsters by 400. So, in some circumstances, that can actually kind of hurt this deck with some of its light monsters, but at least with Mystical Elf, you won't really need its for you won't really need Mystical Elf for like attacking, so and probably Key Mace either. So it's pretty like I don't know, pretty like negligible, I guess. This card is mainly I put her in 2, so if you can get her out, well, at least uh, at least like some of the Dark Scorpions. Like obviously we won't be able to use her all of them, but yeah, if you can get like even like one of her out with like I don't know even Chick, he has a much better chance of actually dealing damage then. So and like comboed with my Serenity deck, I also have cards in there like obviously like deal with Phantom to help it out. Next 2 cards are just uh, more nods to Serenity because, as I said, I ship them. uh, Princess of Surrey and Goddess of Whim. Princess of Surrey does bird damage, so that's also helpful with like something like the Dark Scorpions and like just Lord Scalphus effect. So and Goddess of Whim, she's a light, so probably like it'd be wise to not play her when you have like uh, Witch's Apprentice out. But yeah, with Goddess of Whim though, she can double her attack if you call it Coin Toss, right? Princess Tsurugi. She inflicts 500 points of damage for every Spawn Drop her your opponent has on the field. Um, yeah. Next card is another Dark Scorpion card. Mustering up the Dark Scorpions with their Super Sentai, like Ginyu Force post. uh, with this card, you can only activate it if you have Don Zalug on the field, but then you can summon any number of Dark Scorpions from your hand, about 1 copy of each. Yeah, I forget what to say here. It's a cool card, pretty limited with its uses, but yeah. 1 copy of Hamburger Recipe. Got a palette swap at Bistro Butcher, I guess, doing his thing here. Um, yeah, 1 card I did have in this deck actually was the Bistro Butcher at one point. Took it out. Yeah. This card can summon the Hungry Burger. Uh, back to the sort of like plant theme in this deck. 1 copy of Stumbling. Um, anytime a monster is normal summoned, special summoned, or flip summoned, you can change your defense position. And so when the opponent so when anyone summons a monster, they basically have to wait a turn to attack with it. In a way, I guess. I just really like this card, and I could easily see like Mokuba using it, and I think Don Zalug might actually use this in Spirit Color. I know that Chaz's buddy, that's voiced by Andrew Paul in the dub, definitely has Stumbling, which kind of gave me the idea to put it in this deck. Next card is back to the plant theme of this deck. As I was saying, one copy of the field spell Black Garden. It's not a Mokuba card, obviously. Not a Donzolo card either. This is actually Kiza's main field spell for 5Ds. This card and Stumbling might not work well together, but they do help each other in some way. What Black Garden does is if a monster is normal or special summon face up, except by the effect Black Garden, you cut the monster's attack points in half, then the controller of that monster special summons a Dark Plant level 2 Rose token with 800 attack and 800 defense to their opponent's side of the field in attack position. And the monster's attack loss remains even when Blackguard leaves the field. Also, Blackguard can target one monster graveyard with attack equal to the total attack of all plant monsters on your field. You can destroy Blackguard and as many plant monsters limited as possible. And then if you destroy all of them, you can special summon your targeted monster. Um, this effect probably won't matter that much because some of the plants in this deck are pretty weak, and I don't know if I have anything even with Rogue's tokens to actually get any combinations to summon anything I have. But yeah, it's a pretty nice card for its ability to weaken monsters, which makes the Dark Scorpions really viable, actually. Especially when you can like increase their attack points with like Witch's Apprentice. So this deck does have ways to win. It's just a really long game. One copy of Monster Reborn, get back, say like a Donzalo, check the old Gorgon Strong Mean the 4, trap him over. Another card, just complements Serenity, just one scapegoat to further help this deck's mini, I guess, token engine. Also, it's food engine, given that the goblins like to eat scapegoats. So scapegoats are edible, I guess. One copy of Back to Square One, help clear the field for your Dark Scorpion, for the Dark Scorpions to attack, I guess, and let their effects go off. Oh yeah, I should also check. um, yeah, also like I realized also um, if you play it right, Blackguard could also be used to like help tribute someone like the stronger monsters in this deck, like Gorg and Deathbolt Scalp. So, uh, X card is one copy of. I should probably have more of this, but Mina can help get it back, I guess. One copy of Dark Scorpion Combination. This card allows you to, if you have all 5 Dark Scorpions face up your side of the field, during the turn you activate this card. Any of those 5 can attack your opponent's life points directly, but in that case, they only do 400 points of damage per attack. But this card can really help their effects go off and just establish like a lot of control over the game for you, I guess. And like I said, Mina can help get it back. and if I tag duel with my Serenity deck with this deck, her deck also includes Jar of Avarice, so I can put this card back into Mokuba's deck with that. um, Donzalug did use this next card in Spirit Caller, and I really liked it. So, funny story about this card: it's one copy of Bubble Crash. I'll read what it does first, and then I'll explain my story with it. um, it's a normal top card. This card can only be activated when the opponent has more than six cards on the field and/or in their hand, and that number is actually cumulative. So altogether, if six cards exist together, in their hand and on the field, so hypothetical scenario, they have three Blue Eyes White Dragons and two magic and drop cards on the field, but their hand is a full five cards. They would need to either they would need to, since that's 10, I think. Yeah. They would need to destroy or discard five of them until that number goes down to five. So um, it's a bit hard to activate Bubble Crash, but um, if you can white out your opponent and get into an optimal position to actually activate it instead of just wait for it for just the sake of activating it, I kind of did that, and it can be a good card. Um, if your opponent also has only monsters out, you can like somehow I don't know if you could get them to destroy all their monsters, which is not likely, but they need their hand more, I guess. Funny story about this card though. I took this card to a recent local tournament at my local JWW card shop, and I played this card, and um, not to say I got, not to say I got laughed at or anything, but I don't know. I just asked for clarification because at the time I didn't know if the number this card required is uh, the combined number of cards or not. So yeah, I asked for clarification from the judge at my tournament, and I don't know, I kind of laughed a bit, and I guess they were thought it was interesting that I used this card because they hadn't seen it in forever. So yeah, at my local tournament, I guess I'm kind of the Bubble Crash duelist, I guess, even though I only used it once that day. So yeah, I'm gonna try to play this card again if I ever go back there with this deck, just to establish my legacy, I guess. it's it's kind of fun having created such a meme with this card, I guess, in my own way. But yeah, this card is. It can be pretty useful with the Dark Scorpions, especially just to clear the field and get them ready to attack. And I don't know, burglarize somebody. Xera as a card just to get back those life points. Gift of the Mystic Wealth. Next we got a card that looks pretty similar, just a bubble crashing away. It's a pineapple blast, fitting the, I guess, the food theme of this deck again. This card looks a little bit different to bubble crashing away, but you can only activate it when you normal summon monsters successfully. If there are more monsters on your opponent's side of the field than your side, destroy your opponent's monsters so that your opponent controls the same number of monsters as you do. And your opponent selects the monsters that they destroy. So I don't know if you summon like one monster, and before that you had like a completely bare field, and they have like five like I don't know super powerful monsters. You can like make your opponent like just like nuke like four of their own monsters. So it's a pretty nice card. Again, helps really clear the field for like the Dark Scorpions if you can set up some combo plays after that. The next two cards are actually again complements of Mokuba and Nairu Troubadour. One copy of Taunt. What this card does is during your opponent's main phase 1, select one monster on your side of the field to activate this card. As long as the selected card remains on the field, if your opponent attacks a monster, if your opponent attacks with a monster this turn, they have to attack the selected monster as their attack target. So, I don't know, just like if you can force your opponent to attack. At the worst, I guess you can like force your opponent to like skip their battle phase. So yeah. Uh, Other card he used in Nightmare Troubadour, Fiend Comedian. Toss a coin. If you card right, all the cards in your opponent's graveyard are removed from play immediately. If you card wrong, you have to send a number of cards equal to the cards in your opponent's graveyard from your deck to the graveyard. So kind of backfired away because this deck really, I don't can't handle like losing monsters easily. So, but if you can like banish your opponent's graveyard, that's pretty good. Unless they run something like an Amnel deck, of course. Uh, Next card is one copy of Token Bomb. With this card, it's like a Christmas celebration too, which is pretty neat. You contribute 2 or more tokens with the same level, then target monsters in your graveyard with the same level up to the number of tokens distributed, and special summon those tokens. Their effects are negated, and you have to destroy them during the end phase. So not super useful, I guess. But like, if you have like, say like, I don't know, like, trying to think of a combination that could actually work with this. Um, if you have like, I guess like 3 sheep tokens on the field, you can tribute them. I don't know, say like get back like Princess of Sarugi or something, and like I don't know, a Goddess of Whim, and like even though their effects would be negated, you can like block an attack or like attack with them or something. I don't know. I don't really know why I put this card in the deck. It's the artwork is neat, I guess. Uh, Next card is the much more useful token Feastival. you see the token goblins, they're about to eat some sheep tokens. What this card does is only when a token is special summoned, destroy all tokens in the field and inflict 300 damage to your opponent for each token destroyed. So that's really useful with Blackguard, and if you can let tokens like pile up and like Scapegoat too. I used to have also Ojama Trio in this deck, so and you can imagine how deadly that is with Token Feast Evil. But I took it out, I guess, just because. Last 5 cards here. One copy of Polynosis. What this card does is you can tribute a plant type monster, then negate the activation of spell or trap card, or the normal special summon of a monster and destroy that card. So yeah, with a lot of ways to get plant monsters on your field, this card's actually pretty useful. It's not the most useless thing in this deck, probably. Next is one copy of Hashback, which is a counter trap. You see this guy like throwing his change back at the Goblin of Druid, which is pretty funny actually. Um, when your opponent activates a spell trap card or the effect of a monster of paying life points, you can negate the activation, and if you do, return that monster or return that card back to the deck. So yeah, this card has ways to like negate things too. Next card is one copy of Return. You see again the Goblin of Raid getting yelled at by someone. When a card, when the opponent adds a card from their graveyard to their deck, they must shuffle one of those cards back into their deck. So, like, if you're just playing casually, if your opponent plays, like, say, like, Pot of Grade, they have to, like, shuffle one of those cards they got back into the deck. And if they say, like, play, like, I don't know, like, Jar of Greed, or they're just losing the card they got or putting it back into their deck without like gaining anything. Last 2 cards are one copy of House of Adhesive Tape. Mokuba uses this card in some video games. So, if the defense of a monster summoned by your opponent, excluding special summon, is 500 points or less, that monster is destroyed. So this card is pretty useful against a lot of like zombies. One card, and then last card is just another shout, just Serenity, one copy of Horn of Heaven. So yeah, that's my 45 card Dark Scorpion food token Mokuba deck. I could really actually see him running with a deck like this. I think it actually fits him pretty well. Yeah, I was really happy to actually use like the Dark Scorpions in a deck, even though I don't have like all of the cards related to them in this deck. I think it's a pretty fun deck. I was happy to also include like the shout outs to like uh, the virtual adventure game arc from like the Legendary Heroes arc. And yeah, that's gonna do it. I guess if I was to like trim this down to an even 40, I would probably just take out like Scapegoat, Princess of Tsurugi, Goddess of Whim, and like maybe like Sweet Corn. in like Horn of Heaven or something. Since I already have my Serenity reference with like Witch's Apprentice, which she also uses in the Spirit Caller, or not Spirit Caller, number Troubadour game. So yeah, if you were wondering where that card went while watching my Serenity deck profile, it went into my Mokuba deck. Yeah. So yeah, the Dark Scorpions actually are one of my favorite archetypes. I love their episode in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Um, it's hilarious. It's like really funny to me that Darren Dunstan gave Don Zalog a like Christopher Walken impression for a voice. Uh, Even though I'm not really that well versed into like who Christopher Walken is, I guess I at least know of him and I can appreciate the memes. Yeah. This was my 45 card Mokuba Kaiba Dark Scorpion deck. Let me know what you think. There are obviously ways I could improve it, but I think I like this deck a lot. But yeah, let me know what's your favorite moment of Mokuba Kaiba. Please don't say him getting kidnapped, or I'm gonna block you. Um, um, I'm serious. Let me know what what your favorite Dark Scorpion card is. Mine is obviously Jiggly. And with that said, I'll see you later. Bye.